cream.
Okay. Something about ice cream came up this week. What was it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh shit! It was. This is something different from what I was thinking. Did you catch the MD ice cream thing from Good Friday?
MD ice cream thing from Good Friday. I have no idea what you're talking about.
We went out for lunch, Keenan, Jackie, and I and spouses.
Okay.
And do you know MD Geist?
I've heard of the name of that. Is that an anime?
Yeah, some shitty OAV that can't like it's awesome. It's such shit, right?
Oh.
So we were talking about MD Geist, and MD stands for most dangerous Geist.
Oh, what's a Geist? Ghost?
I think Ghost in German. It's just kind of like this kind of silent operative, like Snake.
Got it.
So we were talking about MD Geist, and then Austin said something about wanting to go get ice cream, and then I just hear Kinnan beside me go, like under his breath, without making eye contact with anybody, "Most dangerous ice cream." Completely lost it.
That's great.
Like got home and instantly changed my Twitter handle to MD Ice Cream.
You have to at that point. That's pretty amazing. Keenan's like a low-key comedian, man.
Yeah. See, because he says it like under his breath, so nobody hears him, but it's there.
Yeah. Speaking of Keenan, he made me some delicious tacos on the weekend.
Oh, yeah?
Really good, like as good as the Mexican restaurants tacos.
Cool.
And I watched him make the tortillas from scratch, and they were amazing. Yeah,
he's a cooker.
He's a cooker.
MD
Cook.
Yeah, MD tacos. I got an email today that said there was a couple of games on my Steam wish list on sale.
There's a big sale right now, man.
Yeah.
I actually got something just today that I haven't played yet on the sale that I was kind of surprised and delighted to see on there. I was planning on playing at some point, but anyway, go ahead.
I don't know if I want to buy either of these yet, but one of them's at a deep discount, and that makes it a little tougher. One of them is Killer 7 that I kind of wanted to revisit.
Mm-hmm.
Only 25% off.
Oh, that's not nice.
But that brings us $17, and it's hard to say like Killer 7's this great game for $17 is a no-brainer, right?
I don't know. For me, well, it depends on how much you want to play it again. I played it like the first 3 levels in it.
Yeah.
That's all I played though.
I love it. I would like to play it again. I've already bought it twice for different systems though,
Oh. Mm-hmm.
So I don't know, and I wonder whether I'm just gonna buy it and then never play it, right?
I have a feeling that's high, 50-50 maybe.
That's why I'm not ready to jump yet.
If it's too cheap, you'll probably buy it and never play it. But if
it's
middle ground, we're more likely to play it because otherwise
maybe
you'll feel a little guilty.
Maybe I will. The other one I talked about last week or the week before, Steins Gate's on sale.
What is that? There's another one that
I'm probably never going to play it, am I?
What is that? It's very anime again.
It is very anime. It's a visual novel, but the thing about this one everybody talks about is how good it is. Like genuinely good, and from what I gather, it's something to do with time travel and like messing stuff up, and it sounds really, really interesting.
Too, but
so this one is 60% off, drops it to $13.59.
Yeah, I see that. Huh. I don't know if I dig in the character designs.
No, I'm not either, but it's more the story.
Like they look a little disturbing. Like you go on Steam and look at the last screenshot, you got one of those maid character looking things, and that turns me off right there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Do all the art over, and then for the characters, and then maybe I'll play it. I don't care how good it is at a certain point. When things look like that, I'm tapping out. Like I tried playing what's it called? What's that school one? The school visual novel where everyone dies or whatever slowly.
The literature club one?
Mm-mm.
That game was trash.
The one where that game was. No, the one where it's like there's like a trial, like someone will murder someone else.
Oh, with the bear.
Danganronpa, yeah.
Yeah.
With the bear, yeah. Like some of the characters look so silly in that game that it just like
I couldn't play it either, just
why not?
because
I
of
don't
what it
know.
looks like.
Why don't you just make regular looking characters? Why do they
Because
all have
people
to, like,
love the shit. People love the anime thing.
I don't find them believable as
I don't find it appealing at all. It is not interesting to me.
it just plus it just feels lazy. Like it's just the same art style over and over and over again. Just like do something unique maybe.
Mhm.
I don't know. I did pick up something on that pile of games that's on sale because it's like Golden Week or whatever, right? In Japan.
Yeah, all these Asian games going on
So
sale.
I picked up Umihara Kawase
So
Shin.
what is okay? So I played the original one, and then what's the 3DS one that came out?
One of them was ported. There's like Sayonara.
No, maybe that's the one I played. I think that's the one I played for 3DS. And then I actually, it's interesting you say I downloaded the demo off the Japanese eShop for
new
Umihara
one?
Kawase Fresh.
I'm actually interested in that. So I was thinking this would be a nice little.
It's a
I
full
like
price
it.
game. It's like $70.
Oh yeah. I can't see it being $70 here though if they bring it because it's coming out here in the summer, right?
I don't know. Is
June
it?
or something? Yeah. I can't see it.
They're good games, but not. Mm.
Yeah. I'm gonna give this one a go. It cost me like I had a little money in my account
$6,
from
right?
selling cards. It cost me $4.
What's
I'll
the
play this one.
what's the
But it's for the listeners, it's a game where it's like a platformer, but the main mechanic is you use like a sort of a grappling hook,
fishing
almost
rod?
a fishing rod, but it's essentially like I think it's almost like
Bionic Commando.
Bionic Commando or Super Metroid's like little tether thing when you're swinging around stuff too. Sort of a mix between all those things, but more depth to it.
And like
I guess.
shitty physics. Not shitty. It's like really good physics, which
Yes.
makes it shitty.
Makes it hard, yeah.
Yeah.
And weird, yeah. And you have to kind of it's a deep game from what I understand. So
it's funny because I keep like I've bought a couple of these games and they're fine, but it's more because everyone else says how awesome they are. I get suckered into it.
Okay. Have you beaten the other ones of this thing that you own?
I beat the one.
Hard.
I beat the one for Super Nintendo for sure.
Oh.
Okay. Sayonara Umihara Kawase, I don't think I beat. I think I got stuck on somewhere.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, be curious to see what that's like because I've never played one. That's why I didn't buy the bundle. I was just like, well, if I like the rest of them, I'll just buy the new one when it comes out, as long as it's not $60. I can't imagine. I still can't imagine it being $60.
It is in the Japan store. It's a full game.
Yeah. Huh, interesting. Well, okay.
So am I passing on both of these?
Probably.
Yeah,
like I don't know. How are you going to see yourself playing that?
I'm not.
Visual novel one. You hate this stuff. That's all you complain about all day long.
No.
You hate those kind of games.
I don't like any games.
Out of all of us, I feel like you hate that style even.
Mm-hmm.
Or you just say you hate it.
It's the long game. Yeah. That's like all I do is play anime games.
I'm sure Keenan has some opinion on these.
Yeah. Killer 7 I really, really like though. I don't know if I'm going to play it again.
If it was cheaper, I might have picked it up. But.
The problem is that Wii is backwards compatible, right? With GameCube. And I have GameCube controllers, and I have a Wii hooked up at my house right now, and I have Killer 7 in a box.
So play it the way it's meant to be played.
I know.
Why would you do that?
I even have that. What's that thing? I forget what it's called, but like run like GameCube images off of Wii U.
Right. You mean that stealing?
No, I bought the thing. I ripped it myself and I put it on the thing. But it yeah.
If that's too hard for you, you're not going to play it even if you buy it.
You're right. I'm not.
So forget it.
Well, it's the same thing. It's the same thing I wanted to play. Okay, so I want to play the extra stuff for No More Heroes came out. Like the Seasons Pass stuff is all out.
Yeah.
And I have it because I have the physical one and it came with, but I want to play it. I just haven't.
I feel like that's something you should be playing because of how, like, I feel like a game like that to have DLC, I feel like the DLC is going to be something important.
Something crazy, yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, I have Silver Case here that I still haven't played.
Right, that's on the sale too.
I
Silver
should do.
Case is a bit weird though. It's
Yeah,
cool.
I,
I
I
like
should.
it,
I should
but
play that instead of Steins Gate,
I agree.
and then play No More Heroes instead of Killer 7.
428 Shibuya is on sale as well.
I have that here too. I haven't played yet.
Dang, I thought you played a bit of it.
A little bit. Actually, you know what? I was playing it together with my wife, and then we got into a fight and we stopped playing it.
Over the game?
No,
Over
no,
decision?
no. We're just over some different thing.
Alright,
And then the feelings kind of ruined, so we just
right.
I'll leave it off.
Mhm.
Speaking of, before we talk about video games, I started watching a new show with her.
Oh, yeah? What?
There was a something with Oda that writes One Piece. Some
Right.
some interview thing, and he was saying about there's a show that he was watching recently that he really enjoyed. So I downloaded that. It's called Juhan Shutai, which is like the second printing. If a comic does really, really well, then they do like a second printing, and
Mhm.
that's Juhan Shutai is like the second printing of a comic.
Oh, that's what it means.
Yeah, and it's like we only watched the first episode, but it's about the main character is an editor who just got a job as an editor at a magazine, again, like the manga department.
Mhm.
And so, there's a lot of different TV shows and comics and stories about being a manga artist,
Yeah.
having to deal with editors, where this one is the editor having to deal with the artists.
Right.
And it seems really cool. The first one I really, really liked. And I like that it's like 10 episodes and finished. So that's a sell.
Yeah. Okay.
Again, I struggle because like we watched the first one like last Wednesday and we're
Yeah.
like, oh, that's really good. We should watch more of it. And then just don't watch more of it.
I started speaking of things I'm watching. I started watching True Detective season 3.
Yeah.
It's actually not bad.
Oh,
Actually,
yeah.
I'm still watching it, and that's for me. That's actually a big deal because usually I'll stop if anything turns me off, I'll hardly ever go back. And when it comes to dramas, if something pulls me out of it, like people not drinking like real things out of cups, or characters, uh, people acting poorly, all of a sudden, like one person's a poor actor and they stick out like a sore thumb, that'll just turn me right off. Or just things that don't make sense based on what a real person would do, then I'll just be like, I'm out.
Mhm.
But this so far, it's been pretty good. So, and it's cool that Matthew McConaughey and Woody Harrelson are both executive directors on the series on this one. So I guess they sort of are partially involved in it now. Seems all right. Good cast.
Yeah.
And I don't think I watched it. Oh, I did watch a movie. I finally watched The Master with who's all in that? Who's in The Master?
Benoit hated that movie.
Yeah, it was okay. You know what? I felt like even though it's a blatant, it's directed by Paul Thomas Anderson, and who the hell's in it? Joaquin Phoenix, Philip Seymour Hoffman, Amy Adams, Rami Malek, fake Jesse Plemons, but he always reminds me of He's Fat Damon. Remember? He's Matt Damon, but he's fatter. You ever seen that guy?
I don't know.
Anyway, it's okay. Like it's supposed to be a Scientology thing, right? But not Scientology. But I feel like they made him the cult leader guy a little too sympathetic in it, instead of kind of like as if he believes his own bullshit. Where in real life, that didn't happen. He didn't believe his own bullshit, as I'm aware. He was just trying to manipulate people. So it's just kind of like okay, and it doesn't really go anywhere. And I don't know. That's okay. So that was all right. But yeah, I did play some games this week. Not too many games, but I
Tell
played
me the games you
some.
played this week.
Played some Picross S3, even though I said I wasn't going to.
So did I.
And I got used to not having touch controls, and it's fine. It's fine. You were right. I'll admit you were right. It works perfectly fine without touch controls. And actually, for this one, for Color Picross, which is I think new for this one, is it?
Yeah.
I use the direct input command where the buttons are all different colors, and can't really do that with touch. very well. So
The one I use, I there's a lot of different control things. I didn't really get them. I use the one where you hold down Y and then press up or left or right or down for
oh,
the.
okay, yeah, sure. Right.
That works out quite well.
hmm I completed almost all the color ones, and then the last few are pretty hard. It's interesting. It feels totally different. The color versus regular Picross.
I like it though.
Yeah, it makes you think a little differently. It's not as obvious. Like I don't think I have it figured out quite yet.
Yeah.
I have little tricks that I'm learning on how to get further, but yeah, it's cool. So I burned through most of those, and then I started on just some regular Picross a little bit, but I don't know if I'll go back to it now because I'm not super. I don't know. Doing easy puzzles is okay, but I know you like doing them. While you're doing
Well,
them.
it's not a matter of liking it or not liking it. It's a matter of completion. It doesn't matter what I like.
See, I still want them to do something like I'm still waiting for Switch's customizable UI or whatever, right? I want to see
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. That would be cool.
I do too. Just give me folders and I'll be happy.
Yeah, folders.
Like get it. I don't understand why it didn't launch with the same thing like the theme stuff from
I know.
3DS.
Makes no sense.
Fucking Nintendo, man.
Like you take one step forward, two steps back. It seems like. Well, I mean, I shouldn't really say that. The Switch has been killing it. I love my Switch.
Do you know I play it more than anything else? I barely touch my PS4 anymore.
hmm
It's all Switch all the time.
Yeah, it's great. I play Gungeon on there. I feel like I'd enjoy playing Gungeon on PC more just for controls, but I don't want to sit at my PC and play Gungeon. I want to hold it.
That's exactly it. I don't want to sit at my TV. I don't want to sit at the computer. I just want to sit where I want to sit.
Yeah.
Like maybe I want to play a little Picross when I'm having a shit. Maybe I want to play a little Picross when
Get those Lysol wipes out on for that.
If it's nice outside and you want to play in a hammock, play in the hammock.
Yeah, friggin' elitist hammocks.
You wanna turn on the car in the garage and play in there?
What?
Go play in the garage.
In the garage. This is getting dark.
No, just you want it to be a little quiet, right? But you also want to play some music.
You want to gas yourself.
It's a little cold out, so you got to make sure that you turn the heat on.
Yeah. You got to have ventilation, though, is my point.
No, you don't, because then it's cold.
Then you're going to kill yourself with your car.
That's the joke.
Yeah,
so Picross, yes, I agree. You know what? To be honest, I feel like S2, I was kind of, I don't know if I'm done with Picross. And then S3 came out. I'm like, I'm definitely done with Picross.
You always say that, though.
And I'll always play it. And I'll always play through them, but I'm not
like.
enjoying it. It's just going through the motions, right?
Hmm.
Still playing Sudoku Relax. Still love it.
Yeah, you turned one of our listeners on.
Yeah, Don bought in.
Don bought it.
I had posted in that line chat about Load Runner at Legacy.
Mm-hmm.
Super fun. I love it. Really,
Didn't
really.
You talk about that a while back.
Load Runner?
Yeah, Load Runner Legacy, or maybe I'm thinking of something else.
Yeah, no, Load Runner I used to play as a kid all the time. And Legacy is awesome because it remakes some of there's the old levels in it, but then there's new levels and new kind of little things. But at its core, it's just Load Runner, and that's kind of what I wanted. So it's good. Super fun. It was like $7, so totally worth the price of admission.
Great. Oh, it's it's got like a voxel look.
Yeah. Yeah.
Actually, looks not bad.
Yeah, and it's fun. Do you know how Load Runner works? You can dig holes to the left of you and the right of you, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's
and then
pretty
if
good.
Guys fall in, they sort of fall into the pit.
Yeah, and if it closes up while they're in it, they die or they come out after a little bit.
Yeah, very sort of strategic type of game.
There's something interesting though that I want to tell you about.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what we spent a ton of time with this week? And I say we because it was my kid and I.
Mm-hmm.
For Easter, I broke open that Nintendo Labo Variety Kit.
Oh.
There's no way in hell any adult should buy this for themselves.
Okay.
Because it's like it is just fucking cardboard. Do you know what I mean? Like it's super fun with a 7-year-old. Like it is really, really cool with kids.
Okay.
It's pretty complex. Like the folds that they have you do, it's not like origami complex, but it's just the app that they give you that shows you how to put together and follow these steps, it's got a really, really cool, like, forward and backwards play thing. You can change the angles if you can't figure out how to put something in somewhere. Like, it's
Yeah,
really, really well put together.
neat.
And they work really, really well. She made the RC car, which is kind of stupid.
Hmm.
But she made the fishing one, finished the fishing one today, and it's hilarious. And it's like they're very,
Neat.
very light experiences, right? Like it's
Yeah.
not, they're not really games.
Okay.
But again, for a 7-year-old, like she's really, really into it. So if you have young children and you can get Labo on sale, it's funny
Mhm.
because I bought this variety kit just because they were like 50% off a little while ago. And if the other ones go on sale, I'll totally buy a new one for
What about the VR? The VR one
her. I guess so.
feels like that would be cool.
Yeah.
You know, what I've been looking at, not to totally change the topic, but I feel like for kids it might be a really cool thing eventually, or older kids, is have you been following much of Dreams lately?
No, but I get such a Little Big Planet vibe from it.
Yeah, it's Media Molecule, right? I've been watching some of the tutorial videos, which I highly recommend you watch, that are published by Media Molecule, showing the tools they have.
Mm.
And they're genuinely like just fun to watch. Like some of these tools for making, like even for 3D sculpting and making things quickly, like making a cityscape quickly, doing all this stuff. It's like it's a really powerful tool system they have. And the guys that do a lot of the discussion of the tools and show things off and build stuff for these little showcases, they're like architects or they're like previous artists, and it's amazing the stuff they're able to kind of get done in a short amount of time. And it's kind of a, I almost think you could sort of, if you were interested in actually sculpting, throwing on, like, it's the only thing right now, it's in beta, and it doesn't have VR capability yet, so that would hold me back. But I could almost sort of see myself kind of playing with some of the stuff, like, just to kind of, if you wanted to do sculpting in real life, it's a lot of investment and a lot of, you know do, you know, you're not going to do that easily in your home. But with this, you can make pretty much anything you want, with the tools they have, and it seems very accessible and very powerful. And you publish it, you can 3D print the thing you make. So if you're into wood carving, I mean, it's different, right? But let's say you're like, I like the stuff I can do with wood carving, but I prefer something quicker and quicker to use and quicker to make things that I can still kind of potentially make in real life with like 3D printer technology. You could do stuff like that. And people who want to make little mini games and little stuff like that, there's AI and there's music creators in there, and people are making, like, recreating stuff in there, like a simple pool game, and making the whole room with the pool table, and like doing all the AI for it and everything. And it's pretty impressive. Like, just watching the videos has been actually entertaining for me. I've been like exhausting their videos that they put out there, like looking through all of them and watching them kind of when I'm bored. So
Cool.
it's kind of cool, and it wasn't really on my radar before, but once I actually saw them using the tools, it was actually really captivating to see, kind of, and also the efficiency of some of the stuff, right? Like, they'll make one object and use that one object to make a whole cityscape by scaling it, multiplying it, rotating it, using different edges, and basically it makes the actual cityscape that looks really complex into like a small file size that can be easily transmitted to other people. And also it loads really quick in their software, instead of like a fully rendered environment that you did from scratch with all unique objects would take a lot longer and be a lot larger. They're doing a lot of stuff like that. It's really cool, so recommend checking it out. I might check it out when they implement the VR. I don't know if that'll be during beta or after beta, but it's really neat to see some of the stuff people are doing in it.
It's cool.
Yeah.
I've never been big on like the creation aspect of things
Hmm.
though. Any like level creator or anything, I don't spend any time in any of them, so it's not for me.
Yeah.
I like the idea.
Hmm. Yeah. It's just really the tool set is what's really interesting. Like, I think they're doing something that other people are going to copy for like real life stuff, like for artists to use. That feels like something they've done really well. So people who are already artists and want to do stuff in 3D may use something like this. Kind of neat. I played more Sekiro just the other day. I didn't play it all week, and then I worked up the nerve to play more. Beat a few more bosses. It's still great. Beat the ghost guy with the big spear. I got some ability where you can swim underwater, which is really cool. So I started looking all around underwater for things. Yeah, it's awesome. I really like the story so far. I really like the little hints of story that you get from different characters. I fought the monkeys, which was kind of a cool boss. Yeah.
Who?
Those little monkeys that you fight on
Like
the
the
like that
oh the ghost things.
those ghost monkey things
Yeah,
in
that
that
was awesome.
area.
That was
That was really
interesting.
neat.
I like that a lot.
Yeah, it's still great. Still awesome.
It's funny because I want to ask you about something, but I also don't want to ask you
I
about it.
didn't see anything else. Like I haven't seen any other crazy bosses or anything that
Yeah.
you were hinting at. So
Okay.
I found one of those headless dudes underwater in that one lake that scared the shit out of me because I dove
Yep.
underneath and he was there and I almost got killed.
Yep.
And then I immediately thought, how the hell am I going to fight that one?
Yep.
Because the ones on land are hard enough.
Okay. So here's my struggle with this game right now.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm gonna go back to it, and I hate that I
Yeah.
hate that I'm saying that, but just everything that I have left to do is I don't know if it's worth the pain and effort it's gonna take.
Don't stress out of it. Just put it away for a while, and then when you're interested in like a hard challenge, then pop it back in.
Yeah.
Right.
I also know enough about myself to say that I'm not ever gonna play it again
Well,
if I stop playing.
if it might change your mind once I say I beat it. Like if I beat it before you, and then it might be like, oh, okay, I should probably beat this.
I don't really care whether you
No?
do it or not. I don't think so.
I feel like
Maybe, but I don't know. As of right now.
was it just a pacing thing or just a difficulty thing? Like eventually it starts
No, I
becoming too
think
much of a grind to.
and it's not so much the difficulty that bothers me, it's the payoff, right?
Mhm.
Like I feel like the thing that drove it forward very, very well for most of the game is the carrot of I get to see more of this,
Mm.
right? I get to see what's next. I get to see what's coming up. Like I really,
Mm.
really dig that stuff.
Yeah.
Where I'm kind of feeling like I've seen everything now,
You're at the end, yeah.
and it's just a matter of finishing it. And
Finishing it. That's what happened with Ys 7 for me. I knew I was at the end, the last boss, and I didn't play for like a year, and then I went back and was like, I just got to beat this freaking game.
Yeah.
And actually, I really enjoyed actually going back and beating it, even though it had been that long. Because
Yeah.
it's a hard. Ys games are pretty hard too, like especially like the final bosses.
Yeah.
And going back, that was one of those situations where I thought I'd never go back to it, and then I did go back, and I'm really glad I did. But similar scenario, like I was like, oh, I get to see more of the game. I beat another boss, and then I was like, okay, it's at the end now, and I kind of didn't want it to end in a way, right? You sort of like if I don't finish it, it won't really ever. I won't feel like it ever ended.
Yeah. Yeah.
That may be what you're.
I don't know. It's funny because I would like to beat it. I just don't know whether I want to beat it. And it sounds awful. And this says a lot about who I am, maybe. But there was some people talking online about how this guy's difficult, this guy's difficult, this guy's difficult. Get ready to spend like 5 hours banging your head against a wall at the final boss. And I was like, I don't want to do that.
I kind of do.
Yeah.
But
you're still playing it. Do you know what I mean?
I know.
Like I feel like if the place where I'm at right now is I mean emotionally the place I'm at right now is that I'm not super into playing it. I'm not really interested in going back to it. I would like to beat it. I would like to play it. I just don't have that push. I don't have that drive.
Yeah.
And if you don't have that drive, I certainly don't have the power to, do this for hours and
Maybe
hours.
make it a game bet or something. A platinum bet or
Yeah.
something. That might get you to go back.
Yeah. Yeah.
Actually, so I should talk about that because as of tomorrow or the next day, my Devil May Cry bet would be
expires.
due. And I did finish it. I did all the stuff I was supposed to.
Did you?
About a week ago, yeah.
Just to buy your game?
No, we kind of decided.
Oh, you just don't have
it out.
to.
Even Steven.
Oh.
But because the game she wanted was already coming out, and it was like it would have been delaying it if I would have got it for her and then sent it by the mail, and She wanted it was Earth Defense Force, that other one that came out, Iron.
Yeah,
Something.
Iron Rain.
And it was just
But
like, why
isn't
wait? Why wait then if you?
but why
you're
do you
excited
have
for it?
to but so you don't have to buy it for her though?
No, but it had come out before I'd finished the challenge, or it was going to come out, and I had to basically say, I'm going to beat it at that point. Let's just buy it yourself, because then you won't have to wait for me to send it in the mail or whatever, or get it shipped
Yeah,
to
but
you.
just pick a different game. Get out of here.
Yeah, I guess so. But anyway, it was tough. I mean, the real platinum is insane, and I'd never be able to do it unless I play the game for another couple of years, maybe, and even then. But the idea is that the hardest part of it was S ranking the missions, because I think, as I said before, um, it's about not getting hit and comboing enemies in each fight, and you got to be pretty consistent through each level. And some of the levels are rather long. And then some on the other thing that compounds that is on the earlier difficulties, the enemies don't have that much health, so you can't get your rank up high enough because they die too quick.
Mhm.
So if you really want to S rank a mission, just not getting hit is generally speaking enough, but that's easier said than done with some of the stuff that they throw at you later on the higher difficulty. So I'm glad I got to. I feel like, because I played through all the difficulties except for the one hit and you die difficulty. The difficulty.
Is that called Devil May Die?
No, Dante Must Die is the difficulty
Dante
under
Must Die.
that. That's the hardest without being insane difficulty. And that difficulty was still, I don't know if it would be enjoyable for a new person to play through on that difficulty, but Son of Sparta, which is the difficulty up from the one that I think I started on, it makes the game hard but fun. I don't know though, because like essentially there's a new game plus, right? Like you're just knocking off each level in each difficulty. So when you unlock stuff for each character, it's just set, like it's done. And there's a lot of moves for each character, so I suppose it makes things a little easier once you have more stuff. But yeah, I mean, by the end I was kind of tired of it. It was good to get it all done, and it certainly felt good S ranking all the missions, because once I did that, I was like, okay, I got it. Like beating the final difficulties is really more about a grind rather than actually it being difficult, because there's like items in the game that you can just use to give yourself more health, and by that point I didn't really care to not use them. And there was no penalty for it, so I was like, yeah, I'll just use them. But yeah, it was cool to S rank stuff. It was cool to play the game a bunch of times. I really like the way it looks. It's worth it if you can get it on sale and you're into like a fun action game. It's like very deep systems in the game. Feels good, looks good to play, like all those things together. There's nothing that really compares with Devil May Cry in terms of that feel. Like you're swinging around. One of his weapons is a motorbike, like a dirt bike or some sort of type thing, where you're swinging. You remember that shitty Jet Li movie, The One?
Yeah.
There's one scene in where he picks up a couple motorbikes and like smashes them together, or like I don't remember what happens. It's a cool scene in the movie. It was like a crappy movie, but you're swinging these motorbikes around and using the like tires that have like kind of it's like almost like a chainsaw, and that's one of the weapons. And all the moves of that feel super good. I was using that like most of the time to hit enemies with, because you're like, when you hit it, you can hold the button down, and then they'll just sit there. You'll sit there grinding them with the edge of the wheel, and that was a really cool weapon for Dante in the game. There's a lot of cool stuff in it. Everything's fun to use, and yeah, it's cool. Jackie was thinking of picking it up. Actually, we were talking about it. I told her to wait till it's on sale, but yeah, it was good. I'm glad I did it. It took a lot of work though. I don't know. I'm not gonna be doing a platinum like that in some time. I'm gonna have to look into the platinum before I agree to it next time, because
It's cool they actually did it though. I'm a little surprised to be honest.
yeah, at one point I was feeling like I wouldn't be able to do it a couple times. At a few points, it was like, this is actually really difficult. Like I had played, I don't know, one level like 20, 30 times before I got S rank on it finally, like one of the harder ones. So that was getting frustrating. And it's weird too, because I came off of that wanting to play Sekiro, which is strange, right? You think I'd be done with, but it's a different type of game anyway. It's not the same. Less
Mhm.
flashy, more straightforward Sekiro. Yeah, so that's what I played.
There you
This week.
go.
I don't think I played a bit of Gungeon. Still playing that. It's fun.
I didn't really play a ton. As I say, I'm going through a bit of a mood, and I'm sure it's related to weather.
Hmm.
You can get outside a little more, and the novelty of outside hasn't worn off yet. So I'll spend more time doing that than inside,
Right.
Yeah, this whole week has all been just like super mellow puzzle games. Load Runner, Picross, and Sudoku Relax.
Good.
Little Cook Serve Delicious, little Nintendo Labo, very light experiences,
Hmm. Yeah. You got other stuff going on. It's busy and go outside, and that's okay.
Yeah, that's okay. Is
I've
there
been, I've been catching up on watching my GSL, my StarCraft Pro League. So that's been fun too.
Did you go see Avengers?
No.
Are you going to?
Well, yeah, I'll probably see it in a week or two. I mean, I don't want to be spoiled. Would I be that sad if I was spoiled? Not really. I mean,
Yeah.
usually I'm a big spoiler person, but I'm not super invested in those movies.
Yeah.
I'm not expecting too much, terribly much from it. So I think it's a good way to go into it. Low hype, low expectations.
Yeah.
Just enjoy it at a later date. What about you? Did you see it?
No.
Seeing it?
No. Maybe when it comes to Blu-ray.
Yeah, I got access to Keenan's Plex, so
Oh
I'm
yeah.
looking through there. He's got a bunch of stuff on there that I can check out. A lot of TV shows. We've been watching a lot of Next Generation. Just every so often, we'll throw that on. It's a nice show when you want to feel good about humanity. You throw Next Generation on.
There's a new episode of One Piece up you want to check out.
Oh yeah, I'll have to watch that out for sure.
In
What
the
else?
in
Yeah.
that starts the new arc.
Oh, okay. No idea where that's gonna go. Which is
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
And I've been watching One Punch Man, which has also been a lot of fun and just sort of light but enjoyable.
Just little things, I got a whole bunch of like new Gundam kits. Did I talk about this last week?
Yeah, you did. Was I on the show? No, I listened to it after maybe.
Did you?
No, I was on the show. Never mind.
So I picked up a whole bunch of them. So I got this huge backlog, and I was working through one a little bit this week. But Jane started watching G Gundam, like the stupid World Fighter one.
Wait, not the one that you love, the kids one.
No, that's Build
One you-
Fighters.
Yeah, Build Fighters.
G Gundam is like there's like Neo Japan and Neo America and Neo Italy, and they all have one Gundam that they fight against each other.
Oh.
And so the Neo Canada has like Lumberjack Gundam and shit. So I don't know. And I think I've even said on the show before, I really, really like the idea of like, the Neo France has like the, red rose Gundam and stuff like this, right? I totally dig that. It's a terrible, terrible show.
2002.
Yeah. But she's into it, and so that's fine.
Yeah, I guess it is fun if she's into it. You can kind of check it out.
I don't really pay attention. It just
just playing Picross.
Probably something like that. Yeah.
It's okay.
No.
Good.
Outside of that, not much. I don't know.
Passive entertainment week.
Yeah. just let it wash over you week.
Yeah.
Cool.
You're anxiously looking for like a name for the episode, eh? Throwing them out there.
I wasn't, but that's gonna be it now. Save me some time. All right.
I don't know what's coming up soon. I'm waiting for a lot of game announcements and like release dates thus far.
E3 will be somewhat soon.
So what do you think about this? Like, okay, one big thing happened this week that I was sort of getting a lot of Schadenfreude. How do you say it?
I think it's Schadenfreude. I could be wrong.
So on one of the forums that you and I frequent quite regularly, Resetera, there was a lot of people that were extremely hyped for Days Gone, the new Sony zombie open world game. Okay. And it looked mediocre. A lot of people were saying it looked mediocre, but don't say that on any thread about that game because you'll get shouted down and yelled at by people who are super Sony fans, apparently. But it looked just remarkably mediocre. And it finally came out and it got pretty trashed. by a lot of reviewers. So that review thread was just fun to kind of go through and experience some of that. So
You
not
gotta
that I have anything against the developers or anything like that. Like
you gotta be a champion for whatever corporation, right?
yeah. I think that like they should have known the game wouldn't have been received very well. I mean, you got to put in a little more effort than just an open world zombie games with a bunch of mishmash mechanics. And I mean, I don't know. I've never been an open world fan because I feel like you can't put in the amount of density of interest in the open world to make it worth the slogging around, hitting waypoints, doing fetch quests. For me personally, that's not my thing.
Did you play Sleeping Dogs?
No, a little bit of it.
Sleeping Dogs is like one of the only open world games where I just like the entire time, every single thing I did, I loved.
Hmm. I just can't like. I don't know. As soon as I see the same thing, it happened with Zelda too. I never finished those games. I'll play a
Yeah.
bunch of them and then I never finish them because I feel like I've seen most of the game. I've seen everything the game has to offer. And similar to your reasons for maybe Sekiro, like I've seen what the game has to offer and that's fine, but I don't feel like there's anything left that I need to put more time into this. Which,
That's how I'm feeling about Sekiro right now.
yeah. So I wouldn't
It's-
compare them. I think Sekiro is a great game.
Oh yeah, for
But
sure.
similar things can happen with any kind of game like that.
Do you know I look at this, I have like a spreadsheet of like pre-orders and video games coming out and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And the next 4
Mm.
on my list, the first one comes out in June. There's
Mhm.
2 that come out in June, and one of them's a maybe, and the other one's a for sure.
Mm-hmm.
That Judgment game that we talked about.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like we talked about this last week.
We've talked about it a few times. There was a big thing where the guy got caught with.
Oh yeah, Judgment. But the other one coming out in June apparently is Mario Maker 2.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't super big on the first one, but I feel again the same thing. I feel like I have a 7-year-old at home who would be all over it.
Yeah. She's just the right age, right? She might be into it,
So
it'd be fun.
it's a maybe.
Yep.
And then July is Dragon Quest Builders 2.
Yeah, it's
And
gonna be
then
cool.
August is Astral Chain already.
Oh, really?
End of August is Astral Chain. What do you think about Astral Chain? Is that a buy or what?
I think it could be cool. I think I'll wait on reviews for it, but it looks like it might be cool. Yeah. I'm excited for it. The one that I want to get everybody into, which I don't know if I will, but I feel like it's going to be a lot of fun because it's online multiplayer in it, is Spelunky 2 whenever the release date gets announced. That game, multiplayer online, it could be something we could all put a lot of time into together because I feel like it's going to be a lot of fun to just kind of, because it's 4-player too, I think even. Like it's more than 2-player. The first one I think had 2-player local, which was kind of fun already. Like I think we even put some time into the versus mode without even playing the regular levels. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like Gareth said he was kind of interested in playing it with me when it comes out. So I'm just trying to gauge interest here because that's my big game of the year for sure. Whenever that gets announced,
Yeah,
that's going to be my big one. I like roguelikes. I like platformers. Spelunky was the perfect fusion of those things. There's a lot of hit mysteries. I like the stuff he's adding. It doesn't feel like when people announce a sequel and it's just kind of more of the same.
Yep.
He's putting in a lot of cool stuff that feels like it's that a true sequel and adding different mechanics and different kind of ideas. That feels like it's going to be a totally new game. So
I heard about a game. I was reading about a game called Dig Dog.
Oh.
That is apparently like a more action-based Spelunky. People were giving it like super, super high reviews.
Spelunky. Oh, I heard about this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard about this a while ago. It came out like in 2000.
I think it just came out for Switch.
Oh yeah. Seems on Steam. It seems like people really like it.
Dig
I heard
Dog.
about this a while back. Huh. Yeah, this looks like it could be kind of cool. A mix of like Dig Dug and a roguelike and what's it called? Mr. Driller almost.
And
probably.
Dig Dug.
And Dig Dug. Looks good. I like the way it looks. The art and stuff. Sweet.
Cool. All right.
Hey.
We'll close her up.
Yep.
Talk to you next week.
All right. Talk to you next week.